Hello, thank you so much for joining us here today. I'm Sister Cecilia Joy, a Franciscan sister Christian charity, and today we're here with Jennifer Baugh, who is the executive director and the founder of Young Catholic Professionals, which is really super cool. So, Jennifer Baugh, do you want to talk about just how you became the executive director and just kind of the journey into that?
Yes, and I'll tell you, sister, it's not something that I would have planned on, but it's been a very blessed journey. So to give you the very quick version, grew up in a wonderful family, lived all over the world actually due to my father's employment, ended up going to high school in Miami, and then was, very much of a high achiever in college, going to, both undergrad, working, and then getting my MBA. And during that entire time, I would say that my faith was surface level. I was raised Catholic, but it was introduced in our family much later. And so, being such a busy person, a high achiever, it really wasn't until I graduated from business school and had 8 months off in between business school and starting a consulting job that I finally had what some people call almost like a quarter life crisis, where, it just became really clear to me that, I didn't really know what I believed. And this was the time, this break to explore. I realized my faith was very surface level. I started to ask God to help me and guide me, teach me to pray. And long story short, that simple prayer, that God always answers it positively. So he did. And what I discovered is that our Catholic faith is so beautiful and designed to help us, that of course God has been with me all along, and that he had a very exciting plan for my life. And long story short, that led to the foundation of Young Catholic Professionals. I realized there were other young people like myself who are career-minded, who are just looking for a little bit of guidance and encouragement through community and through witness. And so I ended up quitting my consulting job to pursue this full-time, and haven't looked back.
So what can people do in Young Catholic Professionals?
It's a really neat ministry, because it fits in for a lot of different types of people. So no matter what type of worker you are, whether you're in marketing, or you work as a teacher, or you work for the church, or you're any type of job, the whole point is that we're supposed to come together and say, as young Catholics with talents, we're called to give our talents for the glory of God through our work. And we're called to use our workplace as a way that we can evangelize and witness to the faith, since, we encounter a lot of different types of people in our workplaces. And so what it is, it's a community that provides programs and support to help young people in their 20s and 30s navigate those challenges. So programs like a speaker series, like retreats, panel discussions on the virtues, etc. And so it's a national model, meaning that we have chapters in different cities across the country, and we're helping a ton of young people really find confidence in their faith and find meaningful friendships.
Yeah. And I loved on your website is youngcatholicprofessionals.com, correct?
.org.
.org.
Yes.
.org. Youngcatholicprofessionals.org. And there is really a lot of great events. I even saw a happy hour in there, which is
Yeah. I mean, I'll just tell you one story. This is kind of like one of our flagship success stories, but there was a young guy who wouldn't have set foot in a typical church event. He would never go to a Bible study or anything like that. But somebody invited him to a YCP happy hour. And eventually he started coming then to the speaker series, then to the retreats, etc. And he said to us, I hadn't been to Mass in 10 years. And this was the catalyst that I needed to really help me. And here he is today, goes to weekly adoration with his wife. He met his wife and married a solid Catholic girl. So, sometimes this whole question of young adults and young people is so elusive. But what we found with YCP is really, with a simple invitation, it's not as hard as it might seem to bring people back into the fold.
Mm-hmm. And do you have any advice for people to grow in their faith, as you mentioned?
Yeah, I mean, I think a huge part of it is that we need community because, it can feel very lonely out there, and it also we can get caught in ruts. I think as people, we can get caught in bad habits. And sometimes it's as simple as surrounding yourself with the right people who remind you, who you are, what you believe in, what you should be striving for. I can tell you personally, sister, that some of my best friends have come from this ministry, and just their witness encourages me to either pick up a spiritual reading or pray a novena or maybe go to mass, during the week, or go to take advantage of the sacrament of reconciliation. So I think a huge part of it is surrounding yourself with the right people. I think a second part of it is that we can't be people that rely so much on others to feed us. We have to be active and feed ourselves. And so our faith is so rich. We have to take advantage of learning about the lives of the saints, diving more deeply into the Mass. Are we just there to stand in the pew, or are we there to actively participate? Learning about our faith. So I think part of it is just a change of mindset. Am I going to be a passive participant, or am I going to take what the talents God has given me to actively engage in my faith? And then finally, I'll tell you personally that my faith has skyrocketed since I've developed a devotion to the Blessed Mother. So that's happened, I would say, over maybe the last 5 or so years for me in my life. And even as a busy woman, I'm also a mom now, about to have number 2 in just a second. I make time to pray the rosary every single day, and it grounds me. I can't tell you. And not only that, we need her. We need her. She's our mother. So those would be some quick tips.
That's really great. And I can definitely agree with you with community, because I know growing, it was a lot of times like young adult groups that really helped me as I was discerning religious life. And so it really is important to really surround yourself with positive people. And
Yes.
And it's great, the ministry that you have, because sometimes people think like business is so far removed, or like careers are so far removed from our spiritual journey, when really our careers kind of, they're like a part of our spiritual journey. Like God guides us through what we do day in and day out. And
Totally. Yeah. I mean, I think as Catholics, it has to become the way we see the world. I'm wearing these glasses. It's almost like our Catholic faith has to sort of reinforce the way that we see the world. So that's everything from how I interact with my coworker, what type of email I send at work, what kind of effort I put into my work, using the virtues to help me be a better worker. Our lives are 100% integrated and connected, and we can't say that our faith stops when we go into the workplace. It's actually got to be a huge part of it.
mm-hmm. Now I'll include the website along with our posting, but is there like an easy way for people to register for events, or how would you encourage people to get involved?
Yes, and the great news now is that we're really starting to do a lot more virtual events. So you can participate in YCP from anywhere in the world. We actually have next week the beginning of a series we're calling the Refiner's Fire. So it's going to be monthly. We're calling them micro interviews with Catholic CEOs and executives on different topics. Like the one coming up is about how to be proactive versus reactive, and why that matters for us as Catholics. So on our website, it has all of that information. If you're in a particular city where we have a chapter, every single chapter has a website that you can get to through our main page, youngcatholicprofessionals.org. And then, of course, we're all on social media, anything like that. So it's really, the starting place is our website, and then you can navigate it to find different national events or a chapter near you. Or, sister, if someone's watching this that might want to help start a chapter in their city, we're always open to that. We're looking to grow.
That's fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Jennifer, for being with us. And thank you so much, everyone, for listening. And may God's peace be with you always. God bless.
Amen. Thank you.